Chinese bike makers are not to be taken lightly. These companies have some of the strongest financials worldwide, enough to come up with some crazy and capable products that we'd happily buy if they came with a European badge. The newest example of this is the Great Wall Souo S2000, which was recently unveiled at the Motor China Beijing International Motorcycle Exhibition. It might be the first motorcycle from the 19th largest automaker in the world, but there's a lot to be impressed about. So much so that we think the touring motorcycle is a worthy rival of the much popular Honda Gold Wing. Great Wall Motor, or GWM, might not be a familiar brand to us, but it's the world's 19th largest car maker by market capitalization with a value of $28 billion, putting it in the same ballpark as Kia, and well ahead of the likes of Subaru or Nissan. It already has several car marks, including Aura, Haval, Wei, Tank, and Great Wall, that are marketed internationally, and Souo marks its first step into motorcycling. It's not a tentative step either. The company's logic is that it wants to sit at the top table, which means competing with market leaders like Honda. So why not take aim at Honda's flagship model, the Gold Wing? That's precisely what the S2000 GL and ST models do. The GL is aimed at the Gold Wing Tour, complete with top case and passenger backrest, while the ST only has side bags, like the base version of the Gold Wing. The known specifications of the bikes are in every instance a step up compared to the Honda. Where the Gold Wing has an 1833cc engine, the Souo has a 2000cc one. Honda uses a 7-speed dual-clutch, semi-auto transmission, while the Souo has an 8-speed DCT transmission. The Gold Wing has single overhead camshafts, while the Souo uses DOHC layout, and most importantly the Honda has only 6 cylinders, and the Chinese rival uses 8. The bike's actual layout is very much like a Gold Wing. The cast aluminum frame is like the Wing's design, and up front the Souo uses a Hossack-style girder fork, suspended on double wishbones with a single shock absorber. This is the same solution that's already been adopted by both its key 6-cylinder rivals, the Gold Wing and BMW's K1600 range. Copying? Maybe, but would it be classed as that if Souo had used conventional telescopic forks like almost every other bike on the market? The fact is that for big and heavy bikes, there's a logical engineering reason to use the Hossack-style front end. It allows relatively soft springing for comfort without inducing too much brake dive. Whether the suspension is semi-active remains unclear, but given the rest of the bike's equipment levels it seems likely. The styling steps away from the Gold Wing's angular look and adopts a more retro-inspired shape, that the company says takes its cues from traditional Chinese lion artwork. That can certainly be seen in the headlights, intended to evoke a lion's eyes, which are set in a reverse raked nose that gives the bike a prominent brow above them. The Brembo radial mount, 4-piston brakes are clear to see, and closer inspection of the controls reveals equipment including a stereo with the option of Bluetooth or speaker output, heated grips and seats, an electronic parking brake, and automatic headlights. On the bars, the control pods copy the layout of the Gold Wings, with a directional pad on the left bar to control the menus on the huge TFT screen, as well as toggles for the electric screen height and stereo volume, a voice control button, and a switch for the electric reverse gear. The left bar also houses a 4-finger trigger and thumb button to control the up and down shifts of the semi-auto box, while the button on the right-hand bar lets you choose between full auto and semi-auto modes. Essentially, a Gold Wing owner would have no trouble finding all the main buttons without having to look for them. And given that's the target audience, it's a logical step for Souo to take. On the dash, we can see a rev counter that has a red zone starting at a relatively modest 6,000 RPM, suggesting the engine is tuned for bottom-end torque rather than outright power, and the speedometer reads to 240 km per hour, equal to 149 miles per hour. A 4G logo on the dash suggests the bike will have the ability to connect to a cellular network without being linked to a phone. While there isn't any indication that the cruise control is an adaptive, radar-guided setup, something that's starting to look conspicuous in its absence on the Gold Wing as well, there are warning lights set into the mirrors that confirm the presence of a blind spot monitoring system. Of course, the new Flat 8 is only Souo's first model. The company has plans for more in the future. A cruiser with styling like the old Honda Valkyrie Rune is expected next, using the same 8-cylinder engine. But beyond that, we're likely to see more conventional Souo bikes as the company gears up to compete with established brands across a broader range of segments. Well, what do you think, guys? Do you think this new Chinese S2000 bike can be a serious competitor for Honda Goldwing, or other luxury tourer bikes? Share your comments with us. Thanks for watching, and see you the next one.